Hey there, and welcome to my 500 Tumblr follower Q&A answer video for my milestone celebration. Last time I did one of these, it was a really nice casual way to celebrate. Thank you each and every one of you for your support and showing interest in my work. Tumblr is the place that I post most of my casual content, like art, little tidbits about writing, and you can drop by and ask questions, but this is a little bit different because it's being answered in video format, and it's a little bit more special that way. So again, thank you to everyone who submitted questions, and thank you so much for 500 followers. Let's just jump right in. First question I have is, what's your favorite traditional art medium? I honestly find myself most drawn to pencil art in my sketchbook because that's what I do every single day, all the time. But honestly, I also really enjoy working with polymer clay and sometimes needle felting if I'm feeling a bit more adventurous. But usually I just draw in my sketchbook because that's what's easiest for me. Next question I have is, what are some of your favorite shows, movies, or musicals? I am not a huge show person. I don't watch a lot of shows, to be quite honest. The couple shows that I have watched that have really stuck with me are Gravity Falls and Steven Universe. Amazing shows. 10 out of 10 would recommend to anyone. My favorite movies is the Irish Folklore Trilogy, directed by Tom Moore, which consists of Wolfwalker, Song of the Sea, and Secret of Kells. I'm in love with the animation style, in love with the stories, the storytelling, all that. They're really amazing movies, and honestly, all three of them have influenced my artwork as well as my character writing, world building, art style, all that sort of thing. So if you're looking for a very artistically inspiring experience, then I would recommend these movies. They're also just really entertaining and really cool. And in terms of musicals, I'm also not a huge musical person. I haven't really seen very many of them. There was a period of time where I got really invested in the Cats musical, specifically the musical, not the movie, and I just got really obsessed with it for a little while. It's a very bizarre musical and definitely not a conventional musical that you would expect. So I would recommend if you want to have a bizarre experience. I also really like the Night in the Woods musical produced by Lemon Light Productions on YouTube, but I don't think that one really counts because it's not really real. It's just adding a lot of really coherent lyrics to already amazing songs, and all the cast did a wonderful job with it, and it was very important to me during my Night in the Woods fixation because it added another layer of depth that I could roll around in my brain. Very satisfying. If anyone likes Night in the Wood music, I highly recommend checking it out. Next question I have is, what introduced you to Scratch and kept you going from there with your art? When I was 8 years old, my dad pulled up Scratch on a computer, sat me down in front of it, and told me to make something, and that was the first Scratch project I ever made. And from there, I figured out how to make an account. For several years, I didn't know how to make an account. I just kept my projects in my browser and didn't close the tab because I didn't know how to save a project. But then I made an account. I discovered Animation Muse, fell in love with making them, put a bunch of my OCs on there because I used to roleplay a lot with my friends in person, but I didn't know they were called roleplays yet. And then I met someone, I still remember his username is CS234477, shout out to my GOAT! You really spearheaded my interest in storytelling and writing and roleplaying. They introduced me to the concept of role-playing through text, and then I just kind of latched on, and we would do all sorts of silly shenanigans together through the Scratch comment system. And that was really my first taste of social media at the time because I was still quite young, and I was learning how to find my own art style, express myself, navigate social media and whatnot. And then from there I was deeply invested in Scratch and sharing my creations through Scratch because I just found out that was the easiest because that was all I knew. Yeah, it was really the first social media outlet I had, which is why I stayed on it. It just felt most natural to me, this is my place, this is where I can make my own space, this is where I can put my own creations out there. And then during COVID, my activity really skyrocketed because I didn't have anything to do during the lockdown and pandemic and quarantine, so I just made Scratch stuff, and then it got a lot of attention because I was pumping out stuff so fast. I was very active, I was very interactive, and then it kind of accumulated to where I am today, and I'm honestly so grateful for that opportunity. Next question I have is, how would Smallfeather react when he's especially being laughed at cruelly? What are the things Rena would do when she's comforting Smallfeather, and how long would she appear if she's bad? So first of all, Smallfeather doesn't really like being laughed at, especially cruelly, because anything done with cruel intent to him is deeply upsetting, because he is traumatized. He wouldn't like being laughed at like that, but he has such a strong fawning response to conflict that he usually just say anything about it. Like, he would just kind of shut down, sort of avoid it, ignore it, put his head down, take it, kind of just let it happen. If it gets especially bad, like if he was really upset, he might start crying, but he's probably already crying because he's upset. Next, what would Rena do when she's comforting him? She would mostly comfort him with physical contact, things like hugs and hand holding, and holding on to him, being there for him physically. And then she'd always give him affirmations like, it's going to be okay, we're going to get through this, things are going to work out, things are going to be okay. There's no doubt about that, and you wait until it happens. That sort of thing is more her style. And how long would she appear if she's back? I'm honestly not sure what you mean by this. Rena is a ghost, and her seance sessions where she can materialize into someone's perception usually last anywhere between 5 minutes to half an hour, depending on participant strength. So her strength, how much strength she's saved up, and also participant strength, so whoever's seancing her into existence, how much they were focusing, how much mental strength they had, how much determination they had, that sort of thing. I'd say they can last up to half an hour, 45 minutes, maybe highest, if they're especially strong, and as little as 5 minutes, 2 minutes if they're both really weak. Alright, next question is, how did Smallfeather get his scarf? Is it blue because it was a gift from Rena, since Smallfeather's thin and probably gets cold easier? And is it usually warm or cold there in Rivertown, which is their hometown? One of my friends' OCs gave Smallfeather a scarf, actually, and he's had it ever since it was given to him, although it's been through a lot of terror. It's very important to him because it's a comfort item, and it comes from someone very close to him, so of course he associates it with them, and then in turn that comforts him, and it's very, very important to him, and he does his best to keep it safe. Yeah, no, it wasn't a gift from Rena. And it's actually blue because at the time I had given Smallfeather a small fixation on collecting cornflowers, which are blue flowers, and he really liked the color blue, and then friend's character was like, oh, you like the color blue? I'm also blue, so I'm gonna make you a blue scarf, and then now he has a blue scarf. It's awesome. In terms of Rivertown's climate, it's usually cold and wet and very rainy in Rivertown because it's located in a mountain on the opposite side of a rain shadow, which is the brunt of the mountain that gets hit with all the clouds. So it has a lot of moisture in the air, and it has a lot of precipitation, a lot of rain, and it's also pretty high up and in the northern half of the Davinci globe. So it is pretty cold, but not cold enough that it would be snowy, so it's just kind of wet and cold all the time and disgusting. Next question is about the Jungleverse. What do critter societies look like? Critters are the main creatures in the Jungleverse, in my videos Walla Walla and Portobello. Critter culture is fundamentally based around the concept of fear. They want to survive, but they're terrified of going out to get resources to survive. So they cope with this fear as a species by becoming the thing that they're afraid of. So they make these puppets out of whatever resources they have to make themselves feel more safe. If they scare everyone away, if they're the strongest thing out there, then nothing will hurt them and they'll be a lot more safe. So that's why we see the puppets in Walla Walla and Jumble Dog exposing them, because there's so much anxiety and so much terror for no reason other than irrational fear. They won't hurt each other if they know that they're critters, but they don't know that the other ones are critters because they're just so scared, and the puppets are perpetuating that cycle. Critter societies are something that I've been meaning to write down and release. Basically, critters are these strange animals that come out of pools of water. They emerge from pools of water as pups. Said pools of water need to have enough organic material decaying in them, so for example dead leaves, dead bugs, some sort of organic matter that is diluted or suspended in the water and decomposing to put the nutrients into the water, and then the nutrients accumulate and then a pup comes out. And critters, if multiple critters come from the same pool, they're considered a family, and they all have the same texture of their fur, even though it could be different shades, of course. And critter families have set up like a base sort of thing, or like a camp around these pools, and their societies are split up into different facets. So there's the most anxious critters stay inside the camp, and they stay and they take care of pups, they take care of elders, and they're mostly caretakers. So like they get the supplies, they know what to do with the supplies, they know how to treat injuries, they know how to raise pups, they know how to take care of elders, that sort of thing, make sure everyone's comfortable. The medium anxiety critters stay mostly around the camp, but they're more concerned with like building things, making sure the dens are okay, housekeeping, like managing supplies instead of using them, and also puppet building. Those ones they receive materials to work on puppets, and they draft these puppets, and they make sure they work, and then they give them to the bravest critters, which are the soldiers. And the bravest critters, they dress up in these puppets, they put on these masks to make themselves look scarier and protect themselves, because there's safety in scaring everyone else. So that's basically their logic. So these soldiers, they put on these masks, they make these puppets together, they puppeteer these puppets together, explore into the jungle, or whatever habitat they're in, and they go out and find resources, they go out and scout things, they find food, bring the food back, make sure everyone's safe, and are just generally regarded as the protectors. The soldier critters are actually the critters we see in the background of Walla Walla that are puppeteering all of the scary puppets that are freaking Pipsqueak out, and Jumbo Dog's exposing them. The basics of critter society, and all work together. This goes into the follow-up question, what do critters eat, and is cannibalism a thing? Critters are omnivorous, I imagine. They probably mostly eat fruits, nuts, seeds, insects, and small fish, and like little tiny things like that. No, cannibalism is not a thing. To honor the dead, they probably recycle the bodies by putting them into their birth pools to recycle the nutrients, if they can recover the body. Next question is, what is Jumbo Dog's mask made of? It's probably honestly made out of dried bark, leaves, and clay or some sort of natural adhesive, and then painted with natural pigments. I honestly hadn't thought about it until now. Most of the puppets are probably made out of bark and dried leaves, and then like I said, some sort of natural adhesive like clay or something. In Portobello time step 031 to 037, there are lookalikes of Jumbo Dog. Is that species like Jumbo Dog or just an animal? Jumbo Dog and Pipsqueak are actually the same species. They are both critters. They're just on the opposite ends of critter appearance. They have this spectrum, I'll show it on the screen right now, where depending on the amount of anxiety that a critter naturally has, they will change their appearance, and they are just on like very, very, very drastic opposites excuse me, on the same spectrum. Those are other critter puppets, as seen in Walla Walla. They're specifically wolf-shaped puppets because they're the easiest for me to draw, and they're also just a different color to fit the aesthetic of Portobello and specifically. So I guess, yeah, you can say they are the same species as Jumbo Dog, but they're also the same species as Pipsqueak because they're just other critters in puppets. Watching them. Next question is it possible for a critter to be born with mismatched features? For example, a larger critter being born with smaller irises, smaller tails, in the sense that they're more fearful, or is that just not possible? No, I wouldn't say that's possible. Their appearances upon birth are directly tied to their behavioral tendencies, and there's not really any plausible way that I could think of for genetic mutations to occur in terms of feature mismatching. I'd say they're all pretty set in stone. Like, if you're this level of fear, you look like this. If you're that level of fear, you look like this. With the exceptions of, like, face shape, hair texture, that sort of thing. But in general, they do all keep the defining features. This question has a follow-up which says, if yes to the first question, going off they're bigger and less fearful, but with some attributes that are seen in smaller, more fearful critters, would they be, in a less sense, fearful, but have stronger fear responses to things? Like, basically they're afraid of nothing but bugs, and make them very afraid and cower. Unfortunately, I do have to skip this one because the previous question answer was no, but I can imagine that some fearful critters have different distribution of fear as smaller things. Usually fear of predators and like the big puppets and everything have the most prevalence in the things that they fear, so they would be most scared of that, but the other hazards that might also scare them could be distributed differently across different individuals. But the fear of specific hazards could definitely vary between individuals. Like, for example, take poison and heights. Like, there are plenty of hazards that a critter might fear, but just take these two for example. One critter might be 70% afraid of poison and 30% afraid of heights, and in comparison another one might be 40% afraid of poison and 60% afraid of heights. And although it's different, it still adds up to 100. They're still both scared of it. There would just be different amounts of scared of it between individuals on top of the predator fear. The last follow-up question basically boils down to if a critter changes its personality, so for example, a fearful critter becoming a lot more brave, or a brave critter becoming a lot more fearful, would their appearance change with it? I wouldn't say they would, because not only do critters just not really change their personality in terms of anxiety, because in their societies they have their facet, they have their place to be, depending on what their level of anxiety is. There's not really any reason for them to challenge that anxiety or to change their fear levels or to like develop tolerance, decrease their tolerance. They're kind of just in the same environment all the time, so there's no reason for them to change. And even if they did change, I don't think their actual physical appearance would change accordingly. It would mostly just be the way in which they present themselves, so like their mannerisms, their posture, the way they look around, the way they walk, the way they eat. They're like more adventurous, that sort of thing. It's mostly behavioral changes that, if in the event that this abnormal thing does happen, wink wink nudge nudge, the appearance wouldn't change, just mannerisms. Next question is, are critters actually dangerous towards other critters? Or is it all an irrational fear of one another despite the fact that they're social creatures? I think it's a mix of both them actually like being an active danger and just having irrational fear. Some critters can lash out at others out of fear, but not really malice. They are social creatures, but only when it comes to like their own families. Foreign families, especially families that practice puppet making, can trigger their irrational fear from the puppetry looking like a predator. So they freak out and then they lash out and then there's actually damage done. And it's just terrible for everyone. So I would say it's a mix of both. And that was the last question that was submitted to me that I could find. I think there were a couple that were deleted, but I'm so sorry if your deleted question wasn't answered. Feel free to pop it into my inbox over on Tumblr. The link will be down in the description. Thank you so much again for all the support and for 500 followers over there. That's crazy. It's been like hardly a couple years I've been over there, and I've already accumulated so many people who really enjoy my work. So honestly, thank you all so much for that. Stay tuned if you want more content like that. Tumblr, again, is where I am most active and where I post most of my casual art. So if you're interested, links down in the description. And yeah, stay tuned for more stuff. I have lots of plans for future projects that I'm going to be releasing soon. So yeah, thanks for watching. Thanks for tuning in. See you later.